I got a friend request from Chris on Facebook, and I was like, oh, what the heck? I'm never going to meet him. And he's the best thing that has ever happened to me.
Chris Watts. It's the sheriff's department. They've been on point. They're going through the house. We got K9 unit. She came home from the airport 2 a.m. and I left around 5:15. She was still here.
Hey guys. Hey guys, this is Shanann. We're here. Kristen's gonna kill me.
She vanished. Nothing was here. I mean, she wasn't here. The kids weren't here. Nope, nobody was here. They went somewhere. You're not gonna get your snack after. I miss that. Like I miss them. Cuddle up on their couches. They have like a Minnie Mouse couch and a Sophia couch that they cuddle up on and watch, Bubble Guppies or something. And it was just like, it was tearing me apart last night, and I needed that. I needed that last night. And
we're not promised tomorrow, We're not promised anything. That brought me to tears. My kids are crazy, but I love them, and I love the fact that I can be there for them.
For nobody to be here last night and to go into their rooms and know that I wasn't going to turn the rain machines on, and I know that I wasn't going to turn their monitor on, and know I wasn't going to kiss them to bed tonight. That's why last night was just horrible. I couldn't do it.
Kristen's gonna kill me.
Hey guys, welcome to Timeless Mysteries. How's everyone this weekend? I guess it might be already Monday in some parts of the world, right? It's Sunday afternoon here in Anchorage, and it's a foggy, cold day. How's the rest of the world? It's already winter here. I shared a picture in the community section yesterday. Like, there's been so much fog lately that it's like just collecting, like it's called freezing fog, and this like frost just collects on everything, and it's like getting pretty thick. I think it's been a little bit warmer the last few days, but it's been like 10 degrees, 9 degrees, sometimes 0 degrees outside when I get up to go to work in the morning. Yeah, I wish it was nice and hot here. It's just too cold. It's too early for winter already. It's November, right? That's still fall. We still got another month before winter starts, right? Well, not here. So, guys, what do you guys want to talk about today? I've got a couple of ideas. I've got some stuff that I wanted to talk about. I really wanted to talk about Shanann Watts, and the first time I said Shanann Watts's name out loud, it really had some weight to it, and I'm not talking about just like the discovery and the autopsy reports, but this was a woman who was alive and had a life, and now she's just like an algorithm trigger. At some point she kind of stopped being a daughter, a sister, a friend, a working mom in the suburbs, and everything changed when she died. And I've just been coming across these YouTube videos that just kind of, I don't know, they just kind of make me uncomfortable, because everyone knows you're not supposed to victim blame, right? Like, it's just one of those things. If you do something to someone, it's never supposed to be the victim's fault. I mean, to a point, right? You can be driven to react. Even a puppy will draw blood if you hit it enough times, right? I mean, there are some instances where it is possible that the victim instigated the situation and escalated things until, something like this happens. It's not, Molly, it's not really that she wasn't perfect. I agree. But here's the thing that bothers me the most. We all live our lives. We're always learning how to be better people. We're always growing. When we're young, we're a little bit wild and crazy, and we've got these weird ideas about life. And, as we get older, we become more conservative, and, just like the generation before us seemed to us when we were kids. It's just like the cycle of life. We grow up, we become better people. But Shanann may not have been perfect. She was human, just like everyone else. And, these people are making videos about her suggesting that she wasn't just a normal person. She was, just more of an aggressive person who was constantly instigating things and, causing all of the problems in the Watts family that led to her death. And that just kind of, it bothers me a lot. Like when I hear that, because, no matter what you do, at some point, there's that time when you get to walk away, and, you take a different route. And if Shanann were alive, maybe all of those faults that she had, she could have addressed and became a better person, even if half of them were true, and I'm not saying they are, even if some of them were true, or at least somewhat true, she doesn't have the opportunity to address those things. She doesn't get to become a better person. She is remembered as this now, and it's heartbreaking to me. I just have a hard time with it. And that's why you don't hear me talking about her very much. And when I do, I try to avoid any flaws she might have. But if you think about it, everybody has something, right? We're all human. We've all got our issues. We've all got our, like, grudges that some people might assume are, like, not a good reason to hold a grudge, but we hold the grudge anyway. It's, the people who are saying these things are most likely doing the same thing to some degree in their own lives, and it comes out like this, and they're like, oh, but she was so horrible. She was, doing all of these things that led to her death. And that's where it just, like, makes me feel it. Like it makes me kind of nauseous almost to hear these things. And I just don't think that she drove Chris to murder her. Chris made the decision to do it. Whether or not there was another party involved, that's another thing. I keep hearing more stuff about Nicole Kessinger, and I keep hearing these new rumors about new evidence and this possibility that Chris is going to get out of prison, which isn't a real possibility. I'm just going to let you guys in on that one. He can't get out of prison. Not even if somebody helped him do it. He's still in prison for the rest of his life. Chris Watts is a monster. Oh yeah, I've seen several videos. It's like lately there's been this, like, explosion of all of these Chris Watts videos, and they're basically rehashing a lot of things that people rehashed, a couple of years ago. It's like everything just recycles through, and I don't know. I like talking about this case for basically one reason, and I think it's an important reason. Um, People live in situations like this every day, and they don't realize that it can escalate to this point. It can escalate to the point where somebody gets hurt and they can't recover from it. Um, and I think the more people that are aware of these things, they've got this case in the back of their mind when they're having arguments with their spouse over money and things like that. Um, if they're thinking about this, I mean, aren't they going to think that, well, maybe my situation is similar? Because Shanann Watts, she didn't believe that Chris Watts was capable of this at all. Like, no matter how angry he got about anything, this is probably the last thing she ever thought would happen to her. And when it happened, it can't be undone. I've got some videos I wanted to play. Also, if you guys want to watch them, I've got a few clips you may not have seen too much. I know the short that I just made this morning, I saw some stuff that I added there that I hadn't seen before. Let me see what I got here. Well, I don't know. I was going to play some of the Chris Watts interview. I think it was, what, 7 maybe, where Chris Watts confesses. But I wasn't really, I don't know. I guess it's really, what do you guys want to watch? Because I've got a few things we can talk about. I've got before we end today, I'm going to share this. This is like a myth versus fact thing regarding the case. I want to kind of go over that. It's not very detailed or very long or anything, but it talks about the rumors and why they're like actually just kind of cruel, I like to speculate just like anyone else does, but I just think that there's people out there that don't have that that like line that they won't cross. They just keep crossing it, and they keep saying like more and more, like the story gets bigger and bigger all of the time. But yeah, let me see. I found some of these videos off of Shanann's Facebook. Is victim blaming allowed by law? Well, technically, you know what? I actually was looking at this thinking about this yesterday because, well, first of all, I've been in a situation where, I was basically gaslighted into believing that, whatever I was saying was more like I was, not taking accountability and blaming somebody else, when really I was being abused verbally, physically, however you want to think about it. And my response was that I don't want to do these things because I don't like to feel like this, because the way, I don't want to get into it, but there's a line between victim blaming and actually telling the truth. Sometimes the aggressor will make the victim believe that they're to blame. And, even in my head right now, when I'm thinking about these things, I think back and I'm like, was it really my fault? Because I was always the one apologizing, right? You know, I go out with somebody, and then the next thing you know, all of these embarrassing things get come out in front of these people that I barely know. And you know, when I get home, I'm like, I don't think that was very cool. I felt really uncomfortable, but then my feelings weren't important. I was over dramatic. I was, you know, had this victim's mentality. I think they told me all that all the time. And, you know, by the end of the conversation, I was the one saying, "Oh, I'm sorry." For like 12 years, I did that. And it's weird. It's just weird. Victim blaming, I don't think it's against the law, but when you don't take accountability. So, say two people are arguing, one person shouts, the next person shouts, and then somebody hits one, right? So, if you were victim blaming, you would say that I hit you because you made me do it. But in reality, you're the one that made that choice to do it. So in that sense, that would be victim blaming. But if I think if you say it more like, let's see, how do you think about it? Like, if you know, if you say like, I am sorry, I feel really bad because we got into this argument and that I said those things. But I only said those things because of something else happening, you know, that the other person did. I don't know if that's technically victim blaming if you acknowledge what you did was wrong also. And these are just like toxic relationships are like this. It's not always black and white on the who is to blame for everything. You know, if you're constantly making excuses why you can't succeed, you know, that's like a victim's mentality, right? And in that case, you're not going to succeed because you're not trying to succeed, because you assume you can't succeed. And I'm trying to look for this part of this thing that I wrote, and I just can't find it. But maybe it's in a different spot. But victim blaming is wrong. If you hurt somebody because they made you do it, that's victim blaming. But if an argument escalates and, you know, there are causes, and to deny those causes, I think, is wrong too. I think I found it. Let's see if this will work. But, you know, I think the victim blaming comes up a lot because people are saying that the public opinion is saying that Shanann is the reason for her own death. That is victim blaming. You know, she stayed, saying things like she stayed in the relationship because for whatever reason. So she must have wanted to be there, saying, actually, let's just go through my PowerPoint here and talk about it a little bit. So I'll just read this one. It kind of explains what we're doing. After the murders, rumors, conspiracy theories, and targeted harassment exploded online. Shanann and her family were subjected to ridicule, false accusations, harassment. The Rusaks publicly begged people to stop spreading lies, and said that it was re-traumatizing the family. And there was some significant harassment in the beginning. I mean, I remember hearing about a lot of it, and I think a lot of it is kind of stopped lately, but it's picking back up. Frank Rusak said that they've endured the most vicious lies, and he asked the public to stick to the truth. But the truth isn't as fun sometimes as speculation, right? So these are the myths that I think fuel the speculation that causes the victim blaming. Shanann hurt the children. What do you guys think? Is that true? Not true? I mean, you can see what I think here if you want to read that, but I'm curious, what do you guys think? Is it even possible? I see.
So what is this? What is this board?
I don't think it's possible.
Because I'm going to Princess.
You're gonna go to Princess. What's this for?
And I'm going to go in this.
You're gonna go to Disney.
Yes, Disney World.
Disney World. And what's this to go to?
Have
you guys seen this video?
To Disney, but what else? Disney. Yep. But what's this say?
Dila.
Nana.
Nana.
What's that say?
You're right, Tori. People love
And what's this say?
to judge. And the funny thing is, they're probably in similar situations.
Who's with Mimi?
In their own life.
Papa.
Yes. So we're going to go see Nana, Papa, Mimi, and Papa
hello.
this summer, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I
And
can't pronounce the name.
possibly Disney, right?
Yes.
And then
Ariel's there too.
and Ariel's there too. And what is this? Did you already get your pony watch?
Uh-huh.
Because you worked hard for it, right?
Yeah.
Yep. And then
And Cece.
Cece, yes. And gymnastics you want to do too?
I'm not
Dance?
familiar with that term.
So
The
we're gonna work for that,
Darbo,
right?
Yes.
What else would you like on your vision board?
deny, accuse. I'm going to look this up. But this video here that I'm playing right
What do you
now,
want
I'm
to add
gonna
to it?
kind
We
of
need to add
some
to
of
it.
it. But it's just an
You
example
wanna do
of
it
how
again?
good of a mother
Okay.
that this
But
woman
what
was.
would you like to add to
She
your
is
new
spending
vision board?
time with your kids.
My
She is
mom.
actually teaching them. She spent a lot of work
I know.
making
Focus,
this thing
child.
for her daughter
Bella,
to
look at
actually
me.
touch
Hey,
and look
focus.
at and learn from.
What do you want to add to
that's
your
not
new vision board?
something that somebody who would possibly
you
hurt
like?
their child would
Um,
do.
more stuff on the
And I think she explains it a little bit further in here, what she's doing.
Have to owning a Lamborghini. And what does Chris Collins own right now? I think 2 Lamborghinis. So I think it's really cool to create vision boards with your children. Like
That's what
Bella's
it's
is
vision
simple.
board. This is a brilliant
you guys
thing.
can see
Actually,
it.
I never heard of
It
it.
just talks about, like we talk about, Bella, come here. Don't write on it yet. Not yet. Okay, come here for a second. I want you to do something. I want you to show everyone watching something. Okay? Come here for a second, please.
But guys, there's
Let's
hundreds
read
of
these. What do we
videos
do every
like
day?
this
We
out
read these,
there,
right?
and then
Wait,
I hear that one
in a second
where
after we read these. Remember what
she
we do
has-
every
Don't
day.
hold it.
You can hold it, just don't play with it yet. Okay?
it's hard to
Point.
even just
What do we
like
do every day?
say it out
We
loud.
say, I am
For
loved.
me.
I'm in love.
I am beautiful.
I am beautiful.
I am
She's
special.
like she's doing affirmations with her
healthy.
child right now, and the child doesn't even know
I
it.
am blessed.
I am blessed.
I
I
am
mean, this
strong.
is just
I am
really good. It was
Yes.
really,
I am gifted.
I'm gifted.
I
it's a
am
lot of work
smart.
to teach
I
kids
am
like this.
smart.
I am
Man was
confident.
definitely
I
putting
am
in.
confident.
I am perfect.
I am perfect.
What else are you?
Write it.
No. What else are you though? Are you
So tall.
what?
So tall.
You're so tall. You are so tall.
See, I'm just tall.
Oh my gosh, you are very tall. Okay, what else
These
are you?
kids were so adorable.
I'm writing the board.
And,
You're
and
gonna
she's
write on the
only
board?
4
What
too,
else?
and she is pretty smart.
I'm
You
going
know,
to
she
write
does.
Are you determined?
Yes.
She does like
I
to talk
am
about.
determined.
She wants to write and she wants to go to Disneyland.
I am inspiring.
I am inspiring.
Good girl.
But see this
I
this
am
thing she's doing with the pen.
happy.
You know, that's probably
am
something she saw
me.
her mom do. Like, hey, look, here's this, here's that.
I
And so
am unique.
she's having fun
No.
and she's learning
No.
things.
I am
I am
unique.
unique.
I am
I am
I know it's heartbreaking.
confident.
It really is heartbreaking.
I
I wish I'd
am
have thought of doing something like this with my kid.
princess.
We did arts and crafts on a daily basis.
else
We
are
would
you?
do paintings. We would make
Yes, you do.
posters, and I bought them lots of.
Are you mommy's
Boys,
special
so
little girl?
We had
Yes.
superhero costumes, doctor
Yes, you
costumes, and
Everyone
we
should do this.
displayed a
You
lot.
inspire me.
But
all
both
the
of my
time. We've
kids,
talked
when
about
they were
this
4
with our
years old,
children
they were
before.
really
And
smart
I
for
think
their
we need
age.
to have our children say affirmations every single day because they are special. They are unique. Right, Bella? Are you writing your name?
And you hear that? She's like, these are affirmations you have to say every
I
day.
love
Not
this.
write it on this.
Not on the
These
picture,
are
no,
things that
just
you
the
need to
cardboard.
believe about yourself.
Write on
You
this.
can't let somebody
Sure.
tell you that you're not these things.
All right, will you say goodbye to everybody?
Bye, everybody.
Look at the camera
Bye, everybody.
and say, everybody,
Everybody,
make a vision board.
make a vision board.
Good girl. Look at me.
It's just
Look at
not
me.
fair
I
what
love
happened. And I think it's
Are you loved?
not fair what's happening now
Are you
with these
beautiful?
videos that keep coming out,
Are you
the
strong?
hate
Are you
that people
confident?
like to spread, because it's
Are you blessed?
I mean, I don't know why people like to spread the
Are you
rumor.
perfect?
Even if
You're
they
perfect to
are
me,
true,
right?
what good does it do?
Right? I love you.
Love you.
She doesn't
That's it.
have a chance to defend herself. She doesn't have any chance to, learn from her mistakes and become a better person. But Shanann hurt the children. This is a rumor that happened. I mean, you see it in a lot of videos. This was Chris's original lie after failing the polygraph test. I don't like to add a lot of weight to a polygraph test, but he did fail it. The autopsy evidence confirms that Shanann was murdered first. So she couldn't have murdered her children. There was no injuries to suggest that there was a struggle. And Chris later confessed that he fully admitted to killing all of them. And prosecutors have confirmed that Shanann had never harmed her children. Now, I know some of the speculation comes out of some of the videos where you see a crying child who is, kind of being ignored and laughed and joked about. But it's not really child abuse. It's not that they're really harming anyone. It's a child being a child, and a mother trying to stay sane. So evidence debunking. Chris's guilty plea explicitly negates his original story. Shanann's autopsy, the manual strangulation by another, no signs of harming others. Chris in February confessed that he was trying to clear Shanann's name, that she didn't do it. Chris's defense team even stated that Shanann was innocent. I mean, why would he do that? If it was the truth, why wouldn't he have stuck to it? You know, myth number 2, Shanann made Chris Watts snap. This is classic victim blaming. This is the narrative that I keep seeing online lately in new videos that have been made in the last couple of months. You know, they talk about the financial strain as if Shanann did it all by herself, the marital issues as if Chris was a saint and somehow the stress that she induced caused him to snap and murder his family. This shifts blame away from Chris Watts and puts it onto somebody else. But Chris Watts did it, guys. He did it. Chris was having an affair. He was planning a new life with this woman. He met with a realtor or talked to one on the phone behind Shanann's back. And supposedly he drove his children 45 minutes before he killed them. These are calculated choices. This is not somebody who snapped. Myth number 3, Shanann was controlling and abusive. Sorry, guys, just one second. Sorry. So Shanann was controlling and abusive. And we do see some of this in some of the videos. There's that, you know, there's those videos where you kind of get the feeling that she's a little bit controlling and abusive and she's trying to be nice for the camera. But that's an assumption, and we don't know for sure if she was. We hear what, you know, Chris's parents thought, but we know that Chris's mother and Shanann didn't get along at all. So they're going to have very different opinions on the situation. It's kind of normal. You know, it's not uncommon for in-laws not to get along with their child's spouse. It's not uncommon at all. This was like a feud that had been going on for a long time, and it probably would have gone on for a lot more. I think that relationship was more abusive probably than what was happening at home inside the Watts' actual home. But there is no evidence of abuse. I've heard rumors about some time at some point the police were called, but there were no charges filed about some kind of domestic violence, child abuse thing possibly, but it seems fake. If there's no evidence supporting it, how can it be real? I mean, just because it's not reported, things can happen, guys. I mean, they could look normal on the outside and be, you know, evil behind closed doors. But the thing is, we don't know, and people are making these assumptions and saying that they are true, and it just feels wrong to me. Like, really, it just feels wrong. It kind of makes me sick whenever I watch these things. And the videos that we see, like the one that I've made comments on, the Santa Claus video where she's like, "Oh, my husband's an idiot," you know. I made assumptions because I know what that feels like for somebody to say things like that to you, that's actually happened to me, and I've actually, had I've been through it. So it like triggered me, and it made me feel a little bit defensive towards Chris in that moment because, he didn't deserve that. He was dressed up like Santa. He was trying to be he was trying to be a good dad. He was trying to do what she wanted. He didn't necessarily want to be on a live stream, but he was doing it. That's love, right? And she was calling him an idiot. Cuff you. I think we're going to get to that one too. There are hundreds of posts where Shanann is constantly praising Chris Watts online. She says he is the best thing that ever happened to him. He is the rock. He is a great father. He's very supportive. She says all of those things online. Her friends describe her as loving, protective. Chris's parents have negative opinions of her, rooted in just the fact that she married his husband, or I mean, she married their son. And I don't even think it is both parents. I think it's only one parent. Myth number 4, Shanann caused the financial problems. Bankruptcy stemmed from medical bills, loss of income, and a shared household debt. Shanann had to leave her stable career due to her illnesses. She worked hard to build up her Thrive income and stabilize the finances. I've heard so many rumors about this and how she had went into debt buying all of these Thrive things just so she can look good on paper. And honestly, that doesn't make sense to me. And I don't think there's any evidence to prove it. So the bankruptcy filings show that it wasn't just one thing. It was a lot of things. And a lot of it was medical debt, mortgage strain. They bought a house they couldn't afford. The drop in income because Shanann couldn't work as much. Shanann budgeted, and she had discussed downsizing their home. These are things that people do when they can't afford what they have. And Cuff you, this is what a lot of people say. I know they call it facetious disorder or something like that, but I think people know it better by this name. And I don't see any real facts that prove any of this. And I would like to see it. I really would like to see proof that this was something that was real. Maybe she was overcautious with the nut allergies. Okay, so let's assume that. But why would a doctor write a prescription? And if she didn't have a prescription, then that's a whole different story. But I don't think we can prove that she didn't have a prescription. There's no actual proof of it. We do know that she talked to a doctor, and she talked about it on her Facebook. I just think that, people want more reasons why such a normal looking person could be guilty of such a heinous crime. but it's not everyone else. It was him. It was his decision. And, even if he got help, which I think he did, or he got the idea from someone, I was talking to somebody yesterday just about all of these possible people who were involved in the cover up and stuff. And, I don't really buy it, but I can't say that it's not possible. It's just not likely. It's too complicated. When things get complicated, things don't work. But we've been watching the Nicole Kessinger interview. We watched the whole thing finally. And that woman is lying out. Like, in almost every statement she makes is a lie in that. And, you got to ask yourself, why would she be lying? And, when she seems like angry about Chris, it's only because he messed up. He did all of the wrong things whenever Nicole Atkinson had the police show up at his house. I think she's more angry about that. She's telling Chris to delete everything on his phone. She deleted everything on her phone. And half of the things that she says can at least almost be proven that they're true, that she actually knew about the pregnancy. She knew who Shanann was, and she knew that they're married, and all of these things. I don't buy it that she just didn't know. She was completely naive to the situation, that she's just, a little bit of a narcissist. So whenever she's talking about this family who disappeared with the police, she's not upset about that. She's upset about herself. And that very well could be just all it is. But it's a red flag. The deleting of her phone. Why? If she had nothing to hide, the police aren't going to show any private photos. I assume it's a text message or a thread of text messages where she talked about things like this. This one makes me sick to my stomach. This one I heard about. I haven't heard this one lately, thankfully. You guys can read that. I'm going to check through the comments here. Hey guys, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. I know lately I've been kind of busy. I haven't been doing a lot of long form videos. I haven't been making that many shorts. I'm just really busy, and I'm trying to write something for my son that I know it sounds weird, but I've got this story that's like 40,000 words. Let me tell you, that's a lot. And it's also very hard to edit, that I'm trying to finish before Christmas, before the end of the month, so that I could actually mail him a physical copy of it. His mother doesn't like to let him have anything that I give him. So I don't think she's going to tell him he can't have a book, a physical book, but she won't let him read the digital version of it. I've been trying to share it with him for the last few weeks, and she's like, oh, we can't download that. We can't do this. I got him a stupid Switch so I could play video games with him. She won't even let him turn it on. It's really hard for me. And if you guys are wondering why I haven't been doing so much, that's also part of it. It's hard to talk about cases like this one, especially when I've gone through what I've had to go through, and the stuff that I'm currently going through that I can't really talk about. It's probably good that I don't, because nobody likes to hear these things. But yeah, life has been hard for me lately, like really hard, and I'm trying to get through it. But yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and skip this slide. I wanted to give you guys a chance to look at it at least. So this is an interesting one that I just can't believe. I heard that, it feels weird just to even repeat it, but people are saying that CC wasn't Chris Watch's child, and that the unborn child wasn't his either, and that it belonged to a specific person. And, I guess I can believe that there might have been something going on, just because people are people. Humans are humans, and it's very common that people have affairs. It's not uncommon. It doesn't make it right. It's just not uncommon. It happens all the time. So could she have? Maybe. But where's the real physical proof of it? I don't see any proof. I see rumors for the sake of rumors. I see people talking about these things as a fact just to get people interested in the story again. But these are just basically rumors and gossip that have no factual basis. So she talked to a guy at a Thrive convention thing. Did she get pregnant with their third son at that time? How am I going to be able to see that? How is anybody going to be able to prove that without a DNA test? And if Chris thought that his youngest daughter wasn't his, why didn't he get a DNA test? They're not very expensive. They're very easy to do. You can buy them a DNA testing kit at Walgreens. It doesn't make sense that it's true. If it is true and I'm wrong, I would be much happier with myself as a person than, saying that it is true and it's actually not true. You know what I mean? That's just my personality. I just can't make stuff up. I don't know how people can do it, how they can actually live with themselves. If you guys remember those 5 or 6 scenarios that I wrote about Nicole Kessinger and all the rumors that we've heard about that, that even makes me feel a little bit guilty when I think about it. But it's not something that I came up with on my own. It's stuff that I've heard for the last several years online. People have been saying these things for a while. I believe Shanann Watts loved her husband. I believe that she was human. I believe that she wanted him to do better and make more money. But I don't think I've heard her say in any of her Facebook videos, at least, which I get it, what you say online isn't always true. I think there's been several, popular YouTubers or whatever that have these family life kind of videos, and then all of a sudden you find out behind the scenes there's all this domestic violence going on. That happens too. It's easy to fake it for the camera for the 5, 10, 20 minutes that you're online showing your family to everyone. And then when the camera goes off, then what? But I don't see it. And I mean, not that I would be able to see it, I guess. But it just doesn't make sense that she would say such good things and then not really believe it. And the only one time that I saw anything negative was that Santa video. But the police never found any evidence that Shanann had an affair. There was no 911 calls, which I actually believe that there was one, but I can't find any record of it. I just find other people who talk about it, and they have, I guess when people say these things about this case and they want you to believe it, and then they give you the answer, well, I've got this information, but I can't show it to you. That should be like a big red flag that maybe it's not true. You know, Chris seemed normal. He was a friendly neighbor. He was a devoted father. He was a quiet person. These are things that make him look normal. And this challenges people to come up with a reason why he killed his family. So they seek out other alternative theories. Well, it was the girlfriend. She pushed him over the edge. Or it was the wife. She pushed him over the edge. But why can't Chris Watts just have gone crazy and did it himself? Because it was all him. It was all his idea. It was his fantasy that he made happen. I mean, that is the simplest answer to all of this. That is the simplest possibility. When you add another person, that makes it more complicated and less likely. If you add 5 people, you know, they leave Jim alone. There's Jim and a couple others that supposedly helped bury the body. Now, that's a good one, Molly. Did Nicole give Chris Watts drugs? I don't know if it, I mean, that's a good one. I mean, it does seem like, you know, he's taking those Thrive patches. I think that could have affected his judgment. If he was taking other things, that could have affected his judgment also. Everyone is different. So, I mean, I assume the Thrive patches were like had regular ingredients that aren't going to hurt most people. But what if he had a side effect that most people don't? I mean, if Nicole Kessinger was giving him like mind-altering drugs like mushrooms or something, who knows what could have happened to his brain? But even if Chris Watts had help, he committed the crimes. He made the choices. He should have been protecting his family. Yes, she was supposedly. And the funny thing is, I have researched the OTO. I really wanted to find some kind of proof that that was actually true, and I can't. But I can't find any proof that it isn't true either. It is one of my favorite conspiracy theories. I've got a video on it too, a couple of them actually. So, you know, the harm of theories like this is that it re-traumatizes the surviving family and friends that have lived this nightmare, not just for a couple of months, not they didn't get to adjust to it properly, like, you know, a normal family. They're constantly living this over and over every single day. Anytime they come on YouTube and the Chris Watts video pops up. I mean, I get it. I'm kind of doing the same thing, but I'm not doing it to try to hurt anyone. I'm not trying to blame the victim. I'm trying to expose this type of behavior so that other people don't have to go through it. I mean, that's the whole idea of people talking about true crime. I mean, if you think about it, 20 years ago, there was hardly any like true crime, anything on TV. I think 20 years ago, they had Lifetime movie specials where they talked about domestic violence. You know, time changes, but now police have to take, you know, these like missing people cases a little more seriously. If we think about how, you know, when Nicole Atkinson called the police, they didn't necessarily have to come out and check on her friend, but they did. But what if they came out and they didn't see anything that looked weird, so they just left, and then we never heard about it for another week or two? That could have happened. Not every detective is got the same skills, the same like background. You know, if you think about being a police officer, you can't just expect every single thing to be exactly what somebody fears it is. I mean, there's got to be hundreds of a day, even in bigger cities, right? They're going to make mistakes. They're going to see things that don't look like there's a problem, so they let it go, and then it turns out to be something. I mean, that's just human nature. We can't be 100% accurate all of the time, and detectives get things wrong all the time. They'll investigate something to death and find out that they've been investigating something completely wrong. They investigated a whole line of stuff, spent hundreds of hours going in the wrong direction. That happens. People make mistakes. Even detectives, you know, a new detective might get these hunches and want to follow them more than an old detective who's like followed all of those hunches that led nowhere. So he's less likely to follow a new one, because of all of the other times he saw a similar situation and, you know, it went nowhere. But victims deserve respect. And the only thing that we can say 100% right now is that Chris Watts acted alone. That is based off of his confession, his jail sentence, his confession, his guilty plea, all of those things. The rest of it is kind of conspiracy theories. And, you know, I get it. It might not be the most popular thing for me to talk about because I know a lot of people on my channel like when I talk about Chris Watts. But the truth is I just can't do the rumors like everyone else does. I just feel guilty about it. You know, I got to be able to live with myself. You know, it's hard enough to talk about this case. Just if you think about the children alone, like it's hard to talk about this case. We can see all of the warning signs now only because we know what happened, at least to the point where we know that they were murdered. We know that the husband confessed to it. That's it. Like, that's what we know. Everything else is just speculation. And yeah, it's fun to talk about it, but it doesn't really go anywhere. I've talked to at least a dozen people over the last year or so who've told me they've got all of this information, and I'm like, well, okay, let's talk about it. I want to see the stuff. And then, you know, well, I can't show you that. I had to get it from blah, blah, blah. And, you know, it cost me this, and, you know, it took me that amount of time. If you want that, you have to find it yourself. Okay. That sounds like it's fake to me. That's what I'm thinking. But let me see if I can. I just want to hear the confession from Chris again, if I can. There it is. Or actually, you know what? This is a good one. I don't think I've seen this on here very often. Let me see. Let's watch Chris Watts.
Chris, come stand up for me. I'm going to have you face that wall over there. Yep, just face it. Lift up your hands. Okay, come and face this wall. Okay, go and face me. Okay, you don't have anything on you, right? Okay, nothing in your pockets? Okay, go and face that other wall behind you. I'm just going to search you real quick. Spread your legs. Further. Okay, turn around and face me. No earrings, necklaces, anything like that? Okay. Let's walk out this way. Go straight. Go out that door to your left. Have a seat. Just gotta.
That was his last day as a free man right there. The last time he got to wear clothes that he picked out.
Look at my kids. See what she did. Didn't know what to do.
You're right, he was wearing a mask of a good guy. Yeah, that's a good name for Chris Watts, Mr. Insidious. This guy is really a scary man that he could do these things, you know. Just scary. Like, I think most people have that point of, you know, they get to the point of no return and they stop. There's like a button that just like, you know,
They're gone. There's no bringing them back.
I can't go any farther than this. Boom. I back off. I'm sorry. Chris didn't do that. And if he did actually drive 45 minutes before he murdered his children, that's even scarier. Because I think 45 minutes is enough time to get somebody to cool off after something tragic happens, after a massive fight that ends in somebody dying.
Right there off the plate. Right there.
And you picked out some.
First I was supposed to put them there.
So where would we find them there?
I don't know what to do.
I know.
I didn't know what to fucking do. Like, none of this made sense. Why would she hurt my fucking girls?
So, Chris, are they in something? Are they under the ground? Like, where would you find them? You take us out there?
There's no way I want to go out there. I mean, I will if you want me to. I don't want to go.
What if you and me and your dad just drove by and you could just say, right there, we could help you just get him out of the cold, you know, take care of him for the last time.
I'm sorry.
I know you are.
I know you are. I know you came in today to do the right thing. You didn't have to come in. You came in all on your own.
Don't think anything less of me.
What?
Just please don't think anything less of me. Talk to my dad.
Are they all three out there, Chris?
Yes.
Okay.
What was she doing to Cece?
She's just on top of her. My hands around
Hands around what?
my neck.
You saw it?
I saw it on the monitor.
Okay.
And that's why I ran in there.
What'd she say?
Threw her off and saw Cece was already blue. It's not moving. And just that blind rage, I just did the same thing to her.
Did you ever go into Bella's room?
Just put Shanann back in.
So,
I saw her on the monitor. The way she
I still haven't figured out how to say your name. Laura, maybe? Laura? When you say these weren't his kills,
When you packed up
I'm assuming you mean
the
that
stuff?
Nicole Kessinger,
So where'd you put them?
which I've heard a lot. And I can't deny that it seems weird the way this whole story plays out.
In the passenger compartment?
Travis said, you're right behind my seat.
Hey, Daniel, I'm glad you're here. You know, I go back and forth on how involved Nicole Kessinger was.
There's, and the babies are gone. And I put my hands around my wife's neck and did that same thing.
See, this part is scary.
This,
Did Shanann fight back at all when you did that?
the
I
rage that I
think
had after
he's
seeing
killed
that,
his wife.
not much.
How do you know Shanann was dead?
Smooth.
Yeah, I agree with that statement that he wanted validation from a strong female. Here, let me take that off. Wait. There we go. Yeah, so I mean, it makes sense. Like his mother was that figure in his life that probably, you know, trained him that he needed that kind of relationship with somebody. I mean, she is a type A personality too, at least from what I can see. And, you know, he wanted to do all the things that his mother wanted him to do until he married Shanann, which that's something he wanted to do. And she was kind of against it, right? So he rebelled finally at some point, but then he got in a relationship where he still wanted that stuff. He still wanted the validation. And most likely these type of people are going to push you to do things yourself rather than, you know, and rather than just give you the support you need to do those things, you know, the little boost to your ego so that you try harder. Some people just need that. Some people just don't believe in themselves the way they should. And they need somebody who is strong, who can handle these things. But they usually, when they find them, they don't get the other part of what they need. The friend, the person who believes in them. They find the people who point out all of their flaws, and then over time, resentment builds up because they don't get any, you know, any positive reinforcement for anything that they do. It's always negative. You know, I mean, it's hard to say what any one of these people were actually like. I want to believe that if Shanann wasn't a great partner, that she could have at least learned from her mistakes and gotten better. She at least wanted Chris to read a book about, you know, relationships. She wanted to do therapy. It sounds to me like she at least wanted to work on things. So I'm going to do something I don't normally do. I found this video from Zawoki. He reacted to this video, and it just makes me feel weird whenever I see stuff like this. You know, I used to love watching like anything kind of supernaturally, like, but this one is bizarre when you hear people talking about dreams they have of the deceased. I'm not going to play very much of it because most likely it'll get my video like not like a copyright strike, but probably not be able to monetize this part of the video, you know. But this is the channel name, Channeling Eric. If you guys can see that, yeah, you can. And I'll put the link to this video in my description, just because I'm going to play a little bit of it. But it's kind of bizarre. I don't know if you guys believe in this stuff or not, but it really is interesting and kind of weird.
Shanann had come to me in a dream about a week ago, and so she's been giving me little hints, and I had a feeling that this was going to be the day, because she was here a little earlier today with Eric. So
do you guys believe in these kinds of things? Have you watched these videos before? I don't know. I don't know what I think about these. There's lots of them like this too.
I was very very happy to meet with her and feel her energy. And the energy, why I was tearing up and crying too, is she has, I mean, yes, what's happened to her is horrible. Her energy, her spirit is beautiful.
Wow.
Her heart, she is just, and she's got the energy of a mother. Like she just, I just was very overcome by her energy. And
Like Mother Mary energy.
right, yes, that's what Eric just said, that she actually does have a vibration, a Mother Mary vibration. So you just channeled that from Eric.
Oh, I think
that's
I
exactly
did.
what he said. Yeah, you did.
There's hope for me yet.
You know, it's funny when they said that statement that she just said that she channeled that information from somebody else. In my fiction writing, I've been talking about this shared consciousness thing. You know, they've been talking about it since the 70s, but I've been calling it quantum psychology, quantum thinking, the unconscious, what do they call it? What do they used to call it? It's basically we're all connected and we're all like getting information from each other all the time, even if, you know, the vibes and stuff like that. But I think they're getting close to naming it with the science, and it's fun to think about in a fictional sense. But I mean, there could be something true to it, right? I'll play
So
it.
Shanann, and I knew this because, of course, many people that'll watch this video will know that, and she wants this acknowledged as well, because she wants to knock out any thought that I'm getting information from videos or anything else like that. Because she says there's a purpose, and we will get into it. She's very strong too. Like she is a businesswoman. She is like ready to go. She's a loving, strong, powerful energy. So she says, I just, yes, okay. She wants me to also say, hello, Lisa. And she says, thank you so much for having me. Like she's just honored to have this opportunity to speak. But she also says, she says, thank you. She's so, she's so very excited, and this is why she's laughing, because she said that all the videos that she was doing on YouTube, a lot of people would make fun of her afterwards. Did watching all these videos because there's such a social media presence from what she did before she passed, and then all the videos that were available for everybody to see. And she says that's created such a great connection with the world, and why her case is so popular as well.
Oh, I was wondering. I didn't really know anything about you. But wait, back up and Michelle said that you changed your name on your birth certificate, and you wanted it pronounced not Shannon, but Shanann, right?
Well, I called her Shanann.
See, this is where I don't know what I believe, but you know what? It's not fair. I'm glad you're able to tune in. Hey, Valerie, you know, Molly, paranormal stuff freaks me out too. And the funny thing is I enjoy writing it. I just don't like to believe it. I'm a very big skeptic. You know, I've even got my own tarot cards. Okay. I actually used to study those stupid things. And I remember one time when I was dating this girl, this is when I was like a kid, and I'm doing these tarot cards. I'm like, this guy, I forget the whole scenario, but I predicted that my girlfriend at the time was going to like meet somebody that she had dated, you know, years before, which would have been like 2 or 3 years before. He was going to come back from somewhere, and, you know, she was going to get back with him. Well, guess what happened? This guy shows up that she hadn't seen in like 2 or 3 years. And all of a sudden she dumps me and she's dating him. And the question is, did I predict it, or did I manifest it somehow? Did I give her the idea and plant it in her brain and say that this is going to happen? And so whenever she saw those things happening, she thought that they were going to happen. So essentially, I made it happen, right? I mean, it's weird how these things work, but I don't know what I believe. I know that tarot cards are weird. I know that psychics are, it's hard to explain them. But this one says, hey, she wants me to tell you guys that I'm not just getting all this stuff off of videos. That's kind of funny because, I mean, just because somebody says that, does that make it true, especially when they're already passed away? I mean, I'm just saying, I'm not saying that she's wrong or doesn't feel that she's telling the truth.
And I had asked her because I was curious. I just said, I heard her parents speak and say Shannon. And I heard it in two different ways.
Ah,
and so I'm not sure how, she didn't say exactly how it was done. So I'm not sure if it's when she got married, but there was a document and she's just saying that she changed the spacing of it and
Yeah.
just how it was pronounced.
Okay.
So she says just people started calling it that way. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I just also want to mention about what she's wearing because it's
Before that, you know, in her yearbook, her senior yearbook, she wrote her name with an apostrophe after the Ann. So I think that's something that she made up. I mean, maybe that's not how her parents intended to pronounce the name. I don't know for sure, but I do know that it had that apostrophe in there that kind of broke the name up as Shan-Ann, actually, Shan-Ann. There was an apostrophe after the Ann, the A-N-N, I believe. If I could find that photo right now, I would share it. But yeah. But these kind of videos, I mean, even if you don't believe them, I think these situations, if she's telling what she feels is right or whatever, people want to believe this thing. It's like anything. Anything that's ever said, if you want to believe it's true or you're afraid it's true, you're going to believe it more than, you know, if it's just random information that you don't care about. But when you want something to be true, you're going to look for things like this and you're going to latch onto them and believe them.
pretty spectacular.
Oh.
She has on a long white, what looks like a satin gown. It's got like a spaghetti strap. It's a little bit open in the back. She's giving me a little bit of a twirl and showing it off. It fits her body very nicely. And then it's got like a trumpet bottom, and where the side split would normally be for your leg, it does split, but it's got kind of like a silver inside of it. Like it's a sparkly inside. And
nice.
She's got on bright purple shoes. Like really beautiful, big purple heels on. Yeah.
That's cool.
It was pretty hard to miss. She's making that very prominent.
Girl, you need to teach me how to dress. Oh my God.
She told me to be in black today. She said, because I had something different on, and she said it's too busy.
Oh, okay. All right. So can I start asking you questions, or do you want to say anything else before we get started?
No, she says, yes, ma'am. She is acknowledging as well that her children are just behind her, and there's somebody to the side holding her baby. So she's just making acknowledgement that they are all present, but it is her that's being interviewed. It's her that's speaking.
All right. Has Eric been treating you nicely?
She says, like the brother, just like a brother. She goes, a rascally one at that.
Oh, God, yeah. All right, so can you tell us what happened that night?
This is the good part.
She said that she was coming home to repair her marriage. She had no idea what she was coming in to step into. Now, she says some of the questions that you have are going to ask some of the details. So she's just asking, would you like me to tell you in sequence what happened to me that night, or
Only
would you
if you
like to
think
look
it
at the
would help.
question?
Only if you think it would help, because I think a lot of people need closure surrounding your death.
Yeah.
So whatever you think is
Yes.
appropriate. Go ahead.
Okay. She was on a business trip. She was coming home. She says it was a late flight. She was tired. She's talking about being physically uncomfortable and being physically unwell, being tired. She didn't have any sense, and I just asked her, how did you feel mentally? Like, what did you feel about the situation that you were walking into? And I had just said, did you sense that something was wrong? And she said, I did sense something was wrong, but I was sensing that my marriage was ending, but I was also not accepting that and just curious as to what was happening, what was going wrong, starting to dread that there was more to what I was feeling deep in my gut, that there was someone else, that there was something else going on. But I was determined in my life to do a lot of things, and I was very determined to repair my marriage as well.
See, I think all of this information was already floating around the internet at the time also. And I don't want to, belittle anybody's beliefs or whatever. I mean, things like this have been going on for years. And on my other channel, I've actually been talking about some of this stuff. While I've been researching it, and I plan to be talking about it, just in case you guys don't know, I have another channel. It's you find it. It's called at Phantom Seeker with 2 R's, and you can find it. But the channel name is Dimension Beyond the Veil, and it started out as just a plain old like supernatural ghost story. But I've been doing other things on there. Whenever true crime gets too heavy, I kind of write horror, I write fiction, I play video games there and stuff. But yeah, none of this really is new information. It's not fair. But it's still interesting. I don't know that everybody's seen all of these things, and that's why I'm talking about it. But it's interesting to me that there are people out there who can like do this without feeling weird about it. I don't know that I could say these things. I mean, I've said similar things, whenever I see Shanann coming home, she looks tired. It's late at night. I don't think she expected anything to happen. There was no sign of any kind of violence that happened other than her death. So it wasn't like they were fighting each other, but at least not physically. They might have been having an argument. I don't think anybody's ever bought me a coffee. I've never tried that, but I appreciate anything. I have a Venmo also. These videos don't make me a lot of money, guys. So I do appreciate it when you guys donate anything. It makes me feel good. It makes me feel like I'm not just wasting my time with them. I really appreciate it. I know that I don't ask for people to subscribe, and I don't ask for these things very often. It's just because it makes me feel weird. But I do appreciate them if you can do that. I really appreciate it. But Valerie just says, I think Shanann knew that he had a girlfriend. And I think you're right. I think he might have actually told her. Or if you watch some other people's sites, she might have told Chris that she was having an affair. Now, that would be a big plot twist if you're writing a fictional novel. And I can see why people like talking about those things. It makes the story more interesting. I just don't see that she's having an affair if she's giving Chris like books on, relationships. It just doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense that she would want to save her marriage if she was also having an affair. But I'm going to play a little more of this, and then I think I'll probably.
Okay, so let's go on with the steps. I have a lot of questions, so if you can make them brief.
That's what, yeah, she just said it would be better if you ask the questions because.
Oh, okay, all right.
She says there's a lot of blanks to fill in, and the questions would help it stay structured.
Okay, so you came home. Was Chris at home, your husband?
Yes.
And did you have any kind of meaningful conversation right away? And how did he seem?
She should have asked.
There was nobody on the main floor. She's showing me walking in, and she's saying that he was downstairs. She went downstairs looking.
It's a popular theory that Nicole Kessinger was there. I don't see any evidence of it. I don't want to say that I don't believe it because I go back and forth on how involved Nicole Kessinger was. I wouldn't be surprised if she was. I wouldn't be surprised if they could prove that she wasn't.
Okay, were the kids there?
The children were not in their beds.
Okay, where were they? With Chris?
Downstairs.
Oh, okay. All right, so then what happened? Did you walk downstairs?
She walked downstairs.
1 a.m. I don't think the kids would be up.
Chris was downstairs. The children were asleep on the bed. She's just showing me. She's showing me that Chris is in front of her and that she's starting to talk to him.
About what?
She says that there was no, it was very, why are the girls downstairs?
Like superficial stuff. Not like, let's talk about our marriage.
No.
Okay.
No.
Someone asked if Chris killed you in your sleep. I think, yeah. Or did he attack Shannon while she was asleep?
She says she was attacked from behind.
Okay. How shortly after when you went downstairs?
See, the other popular theory is that she was drugged before she was attacked. And as much as I would like to believe that one, hey, it's not fair. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I really do appreciate that. But yeah, if she was drugged, that might make her fight back less, right? But if she was attacked from behind, a rear naked choke can make you pass out in a few seconds. Like, it doesn't take long at all. It takes a lot longer to actually kill somebody, but if they're passed out, it's a lot easier. And that would explain the no bruises. The no like physical marks on her at all. But Valerie, you're not the only one. I mean, I've seen like at least a dozen different videos just recently where they're talking about she gets ambushed when she walks in the door. And then there's also the theory that the kids died first before Shanann had even gotten home. And I think that the autopsy kind of suggested that Shanann died first. But I could be wrong. I've read that thing a lot, but I don't remember right at the moment. Now that's a new one, Laura. I haven't heard anything about chloroform, but if there was chloroform, that would have made it even easier. But this psychic is going to tell us how she died from supposedly Shanann herself.
She said that she turned around and went back upstairs. Chris was downstairs. So she's showing me walking away from him and going back upstairs. She was in the bedroom and she's showing me laying down on her side.
Okay.
It looks like her left-hand side, and him not being up there with her.
Okay. Then what happened?
Okay, so she's just showing me being pushed from behind on top, and this is not Chris.
Oh, it's not Chris?
Uh-oh. What?
Is it a woman?
List.
Mm-mm.
Who was it?
Uh-oh.
A hitman?
My God. This is why I wanted to share it, in case you hadn't seen it already, which
Okay, just give me a second.
I think a lot of you probably have, but if you haven't, pay attention.
Okay, what she's saying to me, and Eric is just trying to help me understand here, that there is some detail within names and things that she's not going to say.
That's fine. Yeah.
Because of implications, or because of she says it's not okay. Eric's talking about the part of the contract, and because there are
I know you've
parts
been
to
asking
this
me
that have not yet unfolded.
That's why I'm doing it.
Well, was
I know
it something that someone, was it one person?
So you
And
probably
was it a male or a female?
share the link.
It was a male that killed her.
Not Chris?
I'll share the
No.
link to the video.
Was it
so
a
you
friend of Chris's?
watch the whole thing.
Or a paid for assassin?
There was no money exchanged. There was something, she's saying it wasn't money, that there was some sort of arrangement. There wasn't money, but this has a direct connection. She's not saying the name, but there's a direct connection through Chris to a woman, which feels like somebody that and I mean, I'm aware too. I do have an awareness of the case. So I do think it's important to say that as well. And she's making that direction connected to someone he was having the affair with.
Was it Nicole Kessinger that you're talking about? I mean, I don't know. Okay.
Yeah.
Was it a relative of Nicole's?
Was somebody familiar to her?
All right. So how was Nicole involved in this, if at all? And will she eventually be arrested?
What she's saying is that she's talking about pressure. Okay, so she's talking about because she just wants to look a moment at what the dynamic is. She said there was pressure because she's looking at the girlfriend as wanting, as there being jealousy, as there being two different sides to her.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah.
That makes sense to you guys, what she's describing here. Like, she's talking about how she's communicating with Shanann. She's seeing and feeling and being showed these things. And I kind of got a little confused right there. I don't know exactly what she's getting at, because she said that it was somebody that she'd recognized, that she was familiar with. And then she said all of that other stuff, and it was a little weird.
Something else, and that there may not be full awareness. There was something else that's male involved, has some other motive to it.
The same male that we were just talking about?
Yes.
What was that motive?
It may have led to some sort of financial gain, but there
Okay.
was no money exchange. Like there was nothing that was like, here, I'm paying you.
Yeah, maybe there's a promise
There
of
was-
money, but it never, exchanged hands.
Well, there'd be the insurance money, right? That's what
She says yes.
Okay. What was the cause of death?
She's saying that extreme pressure to the throat.
Strangulation?
So if it was Jim, I want to know how she met Jim before. How does she know Jim? If it was somebody that she knew is who was attacking her. I'm just saying these things out of like curiosity based off of what I'm watching right now. There, as far as this case goes, when it comes to Nicole Kessinger, there is a lot of unanswered questions and a lot of like in my own personal beliefs about how involved she was, that kind of fluctuates. But it's just because I don't know. I don't know how involved she was. Some parts of the interview videos, she actually looks reasonable. And then other parts, it's like she's lying. And why would she be lying? Why would she have to lie if she did nothing wrong other than date a married man? That's not going to land her in jail at all. But if she planned it, that might. If she had a friend come with her to help Chris take care of this, that would. Those things would definitely get her investigated. Those things would have put her in jail, and Chris wouldn't be in jail for life by himself. He would have somebody else with him, at least maybe not in the same prison, but obviously also in prison. And it's not fair. I hadn't heard Chris mention that it was somebody else, but I don't know. Maybe I kind of remember something about that. But I was going to play this the lie detector video, but I ended up playing this one instead. It's a little more interesting to me because I don't usually watch these kind of videos. But I see this as where a lot of the rumors come from. Videos like this one, and I'm not gonna say that psychics aren't real at all. I don't know about that, but I am curious why she thinks these things.
Yes, she's tightening
Oh,
in my throat area.
Oh, did you suffer?
No, she says it was very quick and she was not looking directly, was not looking in the eyes. This came from behind.
Oh, okay.
This is being pushed. There's like straddling to her from behind.
Okay. And then
So in the February 2019 interview notes that I've read a lot, Chris says that he went into the bedroom and he straddled his wife, that she probably thought he wanted to be intimate. And then he choked her. And then, I think he mentioned that Bella woke up. I can't remember right offhand, but that confession, the way he said it in that interview, I believed it more than, anything else that he's ever said. And I've heard of Gino. I don't know a lot about him. Some of these rumors, I don't go down those rabbit holes because I just can't find any weight to them. I would love to be able to find something that has weight to it that I can actually believe. that, you know, if I don't believe it, I can't, you know, I can't sell it. That's just kind of how I am. I can't prove that Nicole Kessinger did anything and was involved in any of this, but I can point out the red flags. And I mean, I feel confident in those, that, you know, those are suspicious things, and that's why she seems suspicious. But beyond that, when it gets into these other people that I can't even imagine why they would be there, or why they would want to risk their own freedom for somebody like Chris Watts, unless, you know, they were doing it for Nicole Kessinger, because maybe Nicole Kessinger did something, and, you know.
Your children were watching this, the girls, I guess. Somebody asked, were the girls really alive when he drove to the oil site? Or did he lie about that in the second confession?
The girls did not make it the full trip. He did not. Okay. The little one was killed first.
How? And by whom? Like choking?
No. Like a hand over the face.
Oh, okay. Smothering. By whom?
This is the same male.
Okay. Well, did Chris kill anybody?
That's a good question.
No, not with his own hands.
So this this man was the one.
What? You know, this video, you know, if this woman is a psychic, man, I would like to talk to her. You know, my mom passed away about a year ago, and, you know, I have a lot of questions for that woman that I'll never get to, you know, the answers to. I could talk to a person who does this and be like, hey, I would just like to know what was really going on. Because my mom and I were kind of not talking. And I always thought it was because of somebody else. She was seeing somebody, and I think she got married to them, but she never told me. And I think he was controlling her. And I want to know the answers, and I'm never going to find out at this point. But, you know, there are a lot of people who think that Chris Watts didn't actually kill his family, that somebody else did it. You know, it's scary to think of that it could possibly be true. It really is.
That also killed the kids. So he killed the little one.
Three people. He's 3 people involved.
Wow. So there were 2 other people that directly murdered one or both of the girls?
The same man. The other 2, it's like an orchestration.
So they were what? Just encouraging it?
Planned. Planned to look like an accident.
Okay. Yeah, of 3 people. Wow. Oh, so the little one died in the home, right? And what about the other?
The little one died in the truck.
In the truck.
See, as far as I know, Chris Watts hasn't talked about Cece that much and how she died. And I've always wondered why. if it was just too hard for him to remember, or if maybe he didn't actually do that. That's one of those things that's in my mind that keeps me curious about this case. And, you know, I want to know, just like everybody else wants to know. I want to know the truth. But the problem is Chris Watts lies, and he's lied multiple times. He's talked to people and told numerous new lies. I think he even lies to his parents. That's one of the most recent things I've heard, that, you know, he's always lying. So, I mean, I want to know, and I don't think we'll ever actually know, because he's never actually going to tell us the complete truth unless there's a video of all of this happening or an audio of all of this happening in real time. Nobody's ever going to know exactly what happened. You know, at this point, Chris is living a lie. You know, he's remembering things a certain way, and, you know, I think it's just how the brain copes with things. It tells a story. You know, you see it in other killers where they create this story that sounds like a movie about how they did all of these things that led up to this big event. It's like a story arc. And it's just a lie that they tell themselves to be okay with it. Yeah, I'm just going to keep playing this, but yeah, those are my thoughts.
Okay, and then how did the other two die? I guess there were two others. I'm not sure.
You mentioned Lori Daybell. Well, you can see in my search history there on the side that I've been watching a bunch of stuff on there. I'm researching that case. I've got a story that I want to tell about it. I just haven't told it yet. But yeah, be on the lookout for that.
So what she's doing is she's just I'm seeing images right now. So she's showing me, and I don't see anything graphic, like nothing like that. But I am seeing that the little one, so the baby was still in Shanann's stomach.
Oh, okay.
Shanann was killed in the home.
Mm-hmm.
Her body was transported along with her children that were alive, and the energy I feel in the vehicle, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 living, 1 deceased.
So who's the fourth person?
Oh yeah, okay. And then the 1 baby was still okay, yes, still living. Was still alive inside her.
Gosh, how could that be? Can't
Oh
have
my
been
God.
for very long.
No. Was dying.
Oh yeah.
Her okay.
That makes me nauseous.
And I mean, I don't want to be too graphic about it, but so the youngest daughter, youngest girl.
So one of the reasons why I believe that the girls were alive in the truck is because there is the footage of the truck. You could see it from the security camera footage of his neighbor, right? And before they faked it and added a second person walking around out there, there is a video where you see like the dome light inside the truck come on and off a couple times. And there's no car seats in that truck. And if the daughters are in there, of course, they're going to be like pushing buttons, like doing things like that. They might get out of the truck, run around the truck. They're old enough that they would be able to do those things. And they're not strapped in a car seat. So they got free movement inside the truck. And that's the reason why I think that they were actually alive. I don't know how he could have driven with them for 45 minutes and still did it. I think that would be a long enough cool off period that he could have stopped and just left it with one. And then, you know, I mean, what would be the reason at that point? If he's going to get caught, he's going to go to jail. Why did he have to end the lives of his children? He didn't. But I think if they weren't alive, it makes more sense that he drove that far and that he did the things that he did after that. Again, just my own thoughts and interpretations of the stuff that I've heard and seen regarding this case.
Was killed throughout the drive before they reached the destination. And the older girl, this would be the oldest child, was killed on arrival to the destination.
How were those two killed? And by the same man that killed Shanann?
See, Chris says that she asked her dad if the same thing that happened to Cece is going to happen to me. He says that. You know, he gets emotional when he says that. And I think that's why I believe it. It seems like that's probably what happened to me anyway. But, you know, this idea that there was a fourth person in the car that killed these children on the way to the oil site is very, very unnerving.
Mm-hmm.
What's that now?
Yes.
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 All right. So the other people were just helping with the orchestration and trying to make it a cover up. I mean, how did he plan on making that look like an accident?
Okay. So there's connection to the location. She's saying an explosion. That the plan was to set it up as if she had come out to, okay, somebody else was going to drive her car, that she was going to come out looking for Chris, stage it, she says, stage it like a show, like a about cheating, about infidelity, to have a fight about infidelity. She said, oh, okay, yes, okay, so somebody was going to drive her vehicle out, which would have contained bodies.
Okay.
And there would be something set at the location for a disaster, for an explosion.
Okay. I got you. So, well, obviously then he planned it. But so this Nicole, what exact part did she play in all this?
She's calling her like a puppet master, like a...
Oh, wow. Was she the brains behind the operation, encouraging Chris to do this?
So, yeah, this is what everybody thinks. You know, everybody believes Nicole Kessinger had something to do with this. You know, she had the plan. She had the idea. I don't understand her plan. I don't understand why she thought that if the bodies got blown up at the oil site, that they would get an insurance payout. And if they were missing for years and years, how long would it have taken before the insurance finally paid out and, you know, made it out that she was actually dead? I mean, I don't think there's much logic to it. Obviously, crazy people aren't logical. They think they are. They think their ideas are logical, but they're wrong. They're completely wrong. They see one thing and one thing only, and they don't see what everybody else would see, who is sane.
She's saying desire, coming from feelings, desire, jealousy. She's talking about her having like a wanting. Okay, it does have some money drive to it as well.
So she wanted money? Nicole wanted money?
She was playing Chris. She was like I'm not, he's easily swayed. He was easily,
I believe that.
easily
would have been easily swayed.
kind of a pushover.
Okay. Yeah.
Also held in a lot of anger.
So will she ultimately become arrested? I mean, it looks like then she was the mastermind of the operation and did a lot of the planning and coordinating and.
She set it up. Okay. Explain this to me, Shanann, exactly how.
So if Nicole Kessinger did make all these plans, Chris Watts totally screwed the plan when he showed up at his house when the police were there. That was his mistake. If Nicole Kessinger planned this, he screwed it up. Like when he showed up there, his life was over because they were going to figure it out. He was lying to the police. He was lying to the neighbors. The neighbors could see he was acting weird. Like all of these things were coming crashing down because the police showed up before she was even gone for a day. Now, somebody who's planning a murder, they're going to be thinking that, oh, it'll take a few days before they find out. That'll give us time to hide this and hide that. You know, the car was still there. Her purse was still there. Her medication was still there. The kids' stuff like that was still there. Everything was there, and the people were gone. I don't care if you're a police officer or just a regular person. That's not normal. People don't just disappear without their stuff.
Okay, so what she's showing me is like manipulation for Chris to make the decisions.
Okay. I see. Okay, so was there an insurance policy involved? I mean, what's this big deal about the promise of money? I mean, I don't know if they were rich anyway. I have no idea, but was there that?
Chris played a bit of a different game with her in letting her know how much they had.
Okay.
How much money they actually had. So what she's showing me is insurance from accidental death. She's got the word responsibility.
But accidental death is not being buried at an oil site that Chris works at. That wouldn't be considered. The insurance company isn't going to pay that out to somebody. Just, they would have had to spun it like she got kidnapped and buried there. And I don't know what they were thinking. It makes zero sense to me. There's no logic to any of this.
That she's showing me responsibility on the company or the oil company having to pay for death.
Wow.
He's saying there's different angles, there's different pieces to this.
Okay. So the main motivation sounded like it was money and jealousy.
Yes, and somebody that truly wanted a new start. She's saying that because she doesn't want this to look like, okay, all right, she just wants to explain that this is not, she's seeing this from a spiritual perspective, because she says that people are going to get very upset in feeling that blame is being shifted. She does want the understanding that he had a behavior, he had a personality disorder. She's saying that very difficult to recognize, but this also played part in him wanting like a fantasy in his head of what was going on, because she's saying he was detached from reality and in a fantasy of things starting over and all this money and no more debt and all of this other thing, and saying, yes, it's an accident, it'll be better for everybody, and talking himself.
But this isn't an accident at all. This is planned murder. And his plan failed.
Oh, yeah.
He doesn't feel emotion. Like he doesn't feel, she says,
it's for the greater good. Oh, now he was wearing these patches, these Thrive patches. I wonder if that helped.
That's what I want to know about.
Made his whole mental thing worse.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
She says that she just said you could say that, but it was more of the transformation of his body that gave him a self or a false sense of self-confidence.
Okay. Was he abusive to you prior? And did he have any other affairs prior?
She said that she, when she was alive, was not aware of any affairs that he had, but she did suspect at different times that maybe he would have done something. She says that he did not have an affair in the way that we would look at what has happened with anyone, that he had encounters with people.
Oh, okay.
Before this tragedy.
She says he was not physically abusive, although when he would get extremely wound up and he didn't often express his anger, he would sit back. He's saying that there was a bit of a manipulation to how he behaved, and that he would hold back and let her get upset.
Oh God! Did he give you any signs?
It was more of a mental.
Yeah. Did he give you any signs before your death that you see in retrospect? That he wanted to end your life?
She said that she did not in any way believe that he would have killed her. That was not, there wasn't a worry about that.
Okay.
But his behavior, she says, was very odd. He was very detached from her and behaving in a way that she didn't recognize. She said that he was not behaving like the man that she thought she was married to.
Did Chris have the other, 3 help moving the bodies?
Chris helped move. Chris dragged her body.
Okay, but did the other 2, were there 3 men or 2 men and Nicole?
No, just one man.
Just one man. Okay, got it.
One man and Nicole and Chris.
Okay, got it. Was your death and that of your children a spiritual contract? And so, what could be gained from it?
She said yes. She said that her spiritual contract is and has not been as much about her personal soul plan as it was what we would consider, we'd put the language of sacrifice to for the collective. She says that she has had lifetimes with Chris before.
Oh,
She's had many lifetimes with him before, and in each lifetime, she had lost her children, whether she was in a different gender or in the same gender. And in this lifetime, the only way that she would go into another experience
That's kind of
with him, because this was about the she's calling it the balance, like a Eric says, like a karmic balance.
mhm.
She says because this was the lifetime to balance this, and this had to do with the collective learning, because there's a very big collective connection around the world to this. And she said that she would not come into this life and lose her children, that she would have to go with them,
too.
Oh,
that
yeah.
she would not be left behind to experience.
Once they start getting into past lives and things, it does get a little weird. But I don't know. I could play a little more if you guys want to see a little more. Or I think this could be a pretty decent stopping point. I think there was one other thing I wanted to show you guys. Let me see if I can remember what it was. I don't remember. I had planned to share another little short video clip, but I can't remember. Oh yeah, let's look at the 2-minute video of the oil site before I go. So I don't think there's any sound for this. I got this from the news station from Colorado, where they show the oil site from the drone footage, and this is where we see the like everything that, and it just seems like this is such a bad idea. Like, and somebody mentioned that I think she's on drugs, and that's why she had this idea. If she did plan this was the dumbest plan ever. And if they'd planned to dig a hole, they should have probably went out there first and see how hard the ground is, maybe bring a couple 100 gallons of water to soften the ground a little bit, but you can't dig in like dry dirt like that. And this clue here, this is like, I don't know, this is like Brian Koberger leaving the knife sheath in the bedroom with his DNA on it. It's like, why would he leave that there? And it wouldn't have been a big deal, probably, if he hadn't had the police show up at his house that day already, because he would have had time to find that, get rid of it. It's just the weirdest possible like scenario that this would, to me, it looks like that a man tried to, he killed his family, and then he tried to hide that he killed them in the least obvious place. I mean, to me, where the man works in these like locations where there's no people, I think that would be where I would look if I was a detective. I would try to look there first. But he thought this was a secluded place and that he would be able to hide them there and nobody would ever be out there. And this is probably true also. If he had the password, I'm trying to think back in 2018, did they already have like the face password, like the thumbprint password? Because I don't think they did. I mean, I can't remember when I started using my face to unlock my phone. But yeah, if he could have answered texts then he would have probably gotten away with it longer. But he didn't get away with it because of Nicole Atkinson. She got the police out there. She gave the police something to be suspicious of and, want to find more answers just like she did. If she hadn't done that, or if whatever reason the detective that was there like got called out to do something more active, like a shooting was taking place 4 blocks away and he had to go handle that, all of these things, like there's all kinds of possibilities that, the big thing is don't try to kill somebody and then don't cover it up. Because you're going to get caught. Most people get caught. I think in the Mesa, Arizona area, there's been a bunch of, was it Mesa? There was like this, they call it like the bone woman or something, where they keep finding all these bones, and for whatever reason, I think they think it's a woman who killed them. But yeah, $500,000 would have gotten him out of debt for what? How long? Maybe a month or 2, a year, if you're lucky, maybe 3 or 4 years. But I don't think the debt was all because of his wife. I think he had, things he wanted to buy. And those things would have been bought and put him in more debt, or he would have used all of that money to buy something else and then just stayed in debt. But I don't know. Like, at the beginning of this video, I did talk a lot about how people are blaming Shanann for all of this. And I don't agree with that at all. I just don't think it's, even if it was true, I don't think it's even, it even matters at this point, because for one, she's already, paid for whatever mistakes she's made. She's not on Earth anymore. And guys, I will link the link for that video so you can watch the whole thing. It's interesting. There's a lot of other videos like this one. I think this one is the most realistic, and I don't know where she gets the information, if it's from Shanann directly or just her own intuition, but she makes a lot of sense. Logically, the way she's describing the situation and how it happened is plausible. At the very least, it's plausible. It may not have been true, but yeah, even, I know at least 3 people who are in marriages probably worse than Chris and Shanann's. Their life was enviable. They had everything that people want. The problems they were having, people wish they could only have problems that small. It's the truth. They had a decent life. They had a decent chance of having a successful life if they just stuck it out and, paid their bills and got through it. But they could have worked it out with counseling. They 100% could have gotten through the debt. They could have figured out ways not to spend as much money. And I think Shanann was open to that, especially when she was open to communicating through a third party, through counseling. She wanted that. She wanted to fix things. She had one failed marriage. She didn't want to have another one. She had kids. And it's clear that she loved her husband. It's Not Fair says that she thinks that it was the 2000s when they started doing the camera stuff and the phone. Well, I think they had GPS, but I think the camera, like I unlock my phone, I just have to look at it now, Actually, I think I misread that. Yeah, the forensic criminology kind of has changed drastically since the 80s for sure. And I mean, they're finding all kinds of cold cases with, figuring out DNA stuff and, you know, but I think the cameras everywhere is like the criminal's worst nightmare. I mean, they're everywhere. You could technically be on a vacation somewhere filming a selfie with yourself and your family or whatever, and then in the background there could be somebody committing a crime and it's caught on camera, not just like on the camera in front of the hotel or across from the convenience store. I mean, it's just, there's cameras everywhere. And I don't know, you guys, let me see. You guys can just watch it. I posted a short today, but watch the part in the short where Chris Watts is on the porch. He's talking about how he misses his daughters. Like, they've been gone for 1,000,000 years, but they've only been gone for a day. And it's clear that he thinks that's good. That's good information to share with the news because it makes him look like he's a good dad and he loves his kids, right? To me, it sounds fake because it's only been a day, unless he did something to them and he knows he's never going to be able to do those things again. And then it's just scary. It is unnerving to watch that porch interview because he knows what happened to his kids and he's lying and he's smiling and he's joking about things. Yeah, he is trying to sell it for the people watching the camera. But his neighbor saw it. He's like, this guy doesn't act like this. He's never talked that much. He's not like this. Why is he acting like that? He's like totally weird. It's because he was nervous, he was anxious, and he was actively lying, and he knew he was about to get caught. That's why his behavior was weird. So I'm a little confused. What do you guys mean with the reporter shirt? Let me see if I can find that video. And then I do have to get going though here pretty soon. Where is it? I have the interview video. If I can find it. Well. Well, I think it just froze up, but I can probably.
Chris Watts,
There you go.
WTTS.
Wow. What's going on right now around your house?
Right now, it's you got K9 units, the sheriff's department. Everybody's like they're doing their best right now to figure out like if they can get a scent, see where they went. If they went on foot, they went in a car, or they went somewhere. And right now, it's just like they've been on point. They're going through the house trying to get a scent, and hopefully they can pick something up to where it's going to lead to something.
What happened? Your wife came home. Tell me what's.
She came home from the airport 2 a.m. and I left around 5:15. She was still here, and like about 12:10 in that afternoon, her friend Nicole showed up at the door. Like I had texted Shanann a few times that day, called her, say but she never got back to me. But she wasn't getting back to any of her people as well, and that's what really concerned a lot of people. Is like if she's not getting back to her, like if she doesn't get back to me, that's fine. Like she gets busy during the day. But she didn't get back to her people, which was very concerning. And Nicole called me when she was at the door, and that's when I came home. And then walked in the house, and nothing was vanished. Nothing was here. I mean, she wasn't here. The kids weren't here. Nobody was here.
What's your wife's name?
Shanann. S-H-A-N-A-N-N.
What's your kid's name?
Bella and Celeste.
How do you spell it? Celeste.
C-E-L-E-S-T-E.
How old are you?
Yep.
How old are
He's
you?
with the
Four,
word.
Bella's 4, Celeste is 3.
Same.
And so, how many times did you try calling her?
I called her 3 times, texted her about 3 times just to say,
When he's talking about calling her, like he's physically pretending to do these things. Like he's calling her, but he knows she's not going to answer. Like he's doing it for everyone to watch him do it. And I mean, it's just weird. It's weird. I don't know how he can maintain like this.
what's going on? Like because after I called her and texted her once, it's like maybe she was just busy. Like she had just gotten back. Like everybody's probably calling her from her trip. She just got back from Arizona, and I figured she was just busy. But when her friend showed up, that's what it was like. It registered like, all right, this isn't right.
I wonder if there's any chance of.
Do you think she just took off? Do you think?
I mean, right now I don't even want to just like throw anything out there. Like I hope that she's somewhere safe right now and with the kids. But I mean, could she just taken off? I don't know. But if somebody has her and they're not safe, like I want them back now.
Yeah, you're right, Laura. He did cancel this. He didn't just call and say the kids weren't coming in today. He said they're not coming back ever.
Like that's what's in my head. Like if they're safe right now, they're gonna come back. But if they're not safe right now, that's the not knowing part. Like if they're not safe, last night.
But see, he does know. He knows what happened to them. He's remembering what happened to them right now as he speaks, and he keeps a straight face.
I had every light in the house on. I was hoping that I would just ran over by the kids running in the door and just like barrel rushing me, but it didn't happen. And it was just a traumatic night trying to be here.
I'm gonna ask some kind of tough questions. Your relationship with your kids.
My kids are my life. I mean, those smiles light up my life. And just like, I mean, last night, like during when they usually eat dinner, it was just like I miss them. Like, I mean, I miss telling them, hey, you got to eat that or you're not going to get your dessert, and just like you're not going to get your snack after.
See, I think he misses it too much for somebody who's just been missing their kid for a day or two. I think it was 2 or 3 days.
I miss that. Like I miss them, cuddle up on. I
think he's regretting what he did, and he knows he's going to miss those things, and that's what he's actually saying. He's not saying it exactly like that, but that's what he's feeling, and that's what he's actually trying to say. But he can't, because obviously if he says those things that way, then he'll go to jail right now. On
their couches, they have like a Minnie Mouse couch and a Sophia couch that they cuddle up on and watch, Bubble Guppies or something. And it was just like, it was tearing me apart last night, and I needed that. I needed that last night. And
he's probably thinking about going to Mexico. That's what he should have been thinking about, probably.
For nobody to be here last night and to go into their rooms and know that I wasn't going to turn the rain machines on. And I know that I wasn't going to turn their monitor on. And know I wasn't going to kiss them to bed tonight. That's why last night was just horrible.
He knows those things for a fact are never going to happen again. And I think he actually feels a little bit sad in this moment.
I couldn't do it. I want everybody to just come home. Like wherever they're at, come home. That's what I want.
Where was she gone for? She came back Sunday, you said that's you at night.
Yeah, because her flight got delayed from Arizona because of like other storms around the nation. So she's supposed to get home like 11. She got home at like 1:48. She got in bed about 2.
What was she going for? Like family trip or what?
It was a Thrive direct sales. It was a local event that was down there between a bunch of leaders in the company.
And
I don't think he
the day she was back.
I left work early that morning, like 5:15, 5:30.
He's probably got 2 or 3 of those Thrive patches on right now just to stay awake.
So like she barely gotten into bed pretty much.
And this might be a tough question, but did you guys get into an argument before she left?
It wasn't like an argument. We had an emotional conversation, but I'll leave it at that. But I just want them back. I just want them to come back.
So if that statement is true, what did they argue?
If they're not safe right now, that's what's tearing me apart. Because if they are safe, they're coming back. But if they're not,
yeah, he's mumbling here. He's kind of stumbling over everything he's saying because he doesn't know what to say.
This has got to stop. Like somebody has to come forward.
You spoken to her family, like her parents?
Yeah, they've been in constant contact, like every hour. I mean, everybody back in North Carolina and the East Coast. I mean, from Maine to Florida.
What is her parents saying to you?
They're just like if they need to get on a flight, just let them know. Because I mean, they feel helpless right now because they're on the opposite side of the country. I mean, Colorado is. I mean, you can't just drive around and look. I mean,
I think he's thinking they believe him, and that's why he looks a little gleeful. But I agree, he does kind of look happy.
It's just like you wouldn't really know what you're looking for. That's what the cops pretty much told me. That first day, I was like, I want to get out and drive around this. You wouldn't know what to look for.
Last couple questions. What does law enforcement, what have the police or the sheriffs or your neighbors, what's police saying to you?
Right now, this is what they're doing right now is with the canines in the sense. I think this is the biggest thing. This is the biggest thing they've done so far because yesterday Frederick Police Department did all the searching of the house and tried to gather whatever information they could. And with the detectives, officers, and sergeants, and today it's, I mean, obviously with all the activity that's around, there's a lot going on around here, and I really hope that all of this can lead to something positive.
What did your neighbors, did they see anything? Did your neighbors see anything?
No, like the police department went door to door asking, like cameras and everything, just like nothing.
And my last question, if you have any of them, so feel free to step in. My last question is, if your wife can see this, if she can watch these, what would you like to tell your wife and your kids?
So I didn't hear the question about the shirt. Did I miss it, guys?
Shanann, Bella, Celeste, if you're out there, just come back. Like if somebody has her, just please bring her back. I need to see everybody. I need to see everybody again. This house is not complete without anybody here. Please bring her back.
That's it. I can take that mic off you.
So did I miss it?
Chris Watts. Chris Watts.
Yeah, maybe there was a little bit of something before this that I missed, but I didn't hear anything about anything at all about the shirt. So I'm curious about it. But I think that video makes me nauseous because he actually thinks he's going to get away with it. He didn't just do it. He didn't just murder somebody. He didn't just cover it up. He thought he could lie about it and actually get away with it. Like he thought that they would believe in him, that everything he was saying was making him look good, that made him look believable. It makes me cringe every time I see it. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look and see if I can find the full. Maybe there's another like 5 or 10 seconds or something of that video. I might have edited out all of it, but I had never considered listening to the question so much. I mean, obviously you can hear the questions, but it's like, well, what happened? What's going on? You know, I don't remember hearing anything. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look for it because I'm curious, just like you guys. You know, I want to know also, and I would love to know for sure if Nicole Kessinger was involved. I honestly find it a little harder to believe that there was more than one person involved. um, outside of, well, more than two people involved, because I can believe that Nicole Kessinger had a motive. I don't know why anybody else would have a motive. And if you're splitting money four ways, then $400,000 doesn't go very far. I mean, you can't buy much. I mean, you could buy a car for $100,000 and have some money left over, but it's not enough money that you can live very long without working or anything. In his case, it would get him out of debt, but for how long? Especially if he's splitting the money. And if he did actually get the money, would there have been more bodies? So he gets the bigger check, or would he have been killed? I mean, so that they could take the money. It's a crazy story. This whole story is bizarre because this guy is so normal looking. And, somebody mentioned earlier about how, his or it was in the other video, on what was that channel again? On the Channeling Eric YouTube channel, where they're talking about that Chris had become more confident because of his body weight and his muscles and all of those things. I mean, how long had he been overweight, and how long had he started? I mean, how long had he been physically in shape for? Because if it was me and I got in shape, and one person like noticed me, I would kind of hope that more than one person would notice me, that many people would notice me, and I would have, I wouldn't just go with the first person who smiled at me. But it's like that's what Chris did. Yeah, $100,000 wouldn't last very long in the U.S. I mean, they had like what house? If he sold the house and got what he paid for it back, that would be one part of his debt gone. But I think they had a significant debt, over $50,000 in debt. Like, that's a lot of money. That's more than he could pay in a year, even if he paid his whole entire salary, because he's got to eat and pay his mortgage at the same time. So that would take out most of his extra money. And then he's got two kids who went to, I think, private schools. So there was extra money for that he had to pay out. He had a $60,000 car when he could have had a $30,000 car. I mean, there's a lot of things going on, and he was overspending. If he wants to blame it all on his wife, he can try to do that. I just don't believe it was all her fault. I won't believe it. I mean, he wanted her to have those things, so that makes it part of his fault. Partly, anyway. Yeah, if there was an explosion like that, I agree, that would have paid millions. Except for, I don't know how they could explain the wife and the kids being out there without their car. You know what I mean? Her car was in the garage. So if she went out there to look for Chris and the site blew up, how did she get there without Chris? And how did she get there without her car? Now that's interesting, Horse Gone Wild. Thanks for bringing that up. I didn't know she got the car through her sales. Like, was it fully paid off? She actually earned that. Like, that was like a little bonus for her. That's interesting. I know she was a hard worker because she was a hard worker before she got sick. And you can see that when she buys a house at like 26 years old. And then, she got diagnosed with lupus, and then it seemed like her life changed and she couldn't make more than $30,000 a year anymore. And I don't know. I just have a hard time blaming Shanann for anything. I mean, she was human. She had her flaws. Okay. But are those flaws worth what happened to her? I mean, is it worth like blaming her for these things now? I don't think it is. And that's the whole point of what I talked about at the beginning of this, you know. So guys, I do need to get going. And I've been here for quite a while, and I'm so happy that you guys were here with me. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to my channel. I do cover other cases, not just this one. I would talk about this case more, but it's hard for me to talk about it. Like I feel the loss of those kids. Like it really bothers me, you know. And whenever I see a guy who's a dad who is supposed to be a protector and he does something like this, even if it wasn't him physically, even if, you know, he lied about it, he did it and it was somebody else that did it, he allowed it to happen. And I just can't like stomach that. It's just unfathomable to me. There's other cases like it too that make me just as nauseous. But this case is just probably one of the worst ones, just because he could have done so many different things. He could have left with Nicole Kessinger and disappeared. You know, they could have like gone to Mexico. I mean, they were close by. I mean, it's not that far. It's not like they're up in Alaska and it's going to cost them $10,000 to get down there. But they could have sold things, took off and disappeared and lived in a cheap house just on the other side of the border. You know, he could have done those things. He could have saved his kids' lives. You know, he didn't have to keep murdering after he did one. He didn't have to do the others. You know, it makes no sense to me, and it's a horrible tragedy. And I think all the videos I've been seeing on Shanann and that make her out to be part of the problem, it just really hurts me. And that's why I say those things that, you know, if I'm going to talk about this case, I've got to do it in a way that I feel good about myself. You know, but again, guys, thank you for being here. Please subscribe, let other people know about my channel, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Have a good rest of your day.